there came a point in my life when I knew I had to change it. So I took a chance and sold and gave away everything that I owned to experience a new life living out on the canals and rivers of the UK. So I'd like you to come along and experience it with me every step of the way. Morning YouTubers. I'm going to be leaving the marina now after being here for 2 months and being spoiled. But while I've got the chance, I'm going to go over to the fuel dock and fill up with diesel, because the prices of everything in this marina have been very reasonable. I'll give you an example. They had stacks of coal left over from last year, and instead of banging up the prices like everyone else does, they were selling it at last year's prices. I'm impressed with things like that, and it showed me that the people that run this marina are proper human beings. And I'd like to think, if I was in their position, that I would do the same. Right, we're all fueled up, and now I'm ready for my next adventures out on the canals. Where I haven't moved Aitch for so long, I was wondering if I'd forget how to do it. But I think it's a bit like riding a bike. But then again, since I've been out here doing this, I have started riding a bike again, and I have fell off once or twice. Just letting other boaters know that I'm coming out of the marina. Hopefully if there's anyone there, they heard it. Yep, it's all clear. So I'm going to turn left, which is north, towards the end of the Ashby. What I'm going to do today is pull over and moor up at the first space that I see, so that I can get ready for going out into the sticks. And if I remember rightly, just past these permanent moorings there's some CRT moorings, and they'll do me for now. It's a shame that I'm not stocked up and ready to go for it today, because the weather's lovely, and that's one thing in this country that you can't guarantee. In today's episode we're going to be starting off down the bottom there at Market Bosworth and going all the way to Snarestone, which is the end of the navigable Ashby Canal. And we'll be stopping and having a look round along the way, because I've missed having a look at some of these villages and all the nice little places as you're going along. And who knows, we might come across some unexpected gems, which has happened in the past. Looking at that sky, I reckon we could be in for some rain today. That's bridge number 43, and our first stop today is going to be Congeston, which is around bridge 47. Where this canal is so shallow, I'm always a bit dubious about coming off the centre when passing other boats, just in case we get grounded. But this time it seems okay. That looks like a bit of an overspill coming up on the right. I don't know where it takes the water, probably to some little river or stream somewhere. There's a sign on that bridge coming up, which is showing us that we're coming into a site of special scientific interest. From here to the end of the canal is known for its diversity of aquatic plant life. Also, there's been 9 species of dragonfly being spotted along here. We've got water shrews, rare native white-clawed crayfish, and the nationally important water vole, which are becoming very rare on our water systems. There's also been a push to get rid of all the invasive species and plants that's in this area, to give the natural creatures a chance to thrive. I was in a world of my own here, daydreaming away, speeding past this boat, and I forgot to slow down till the last second. I hope I didn't shake them about in there. I must have been dreaming of all those creatures that are up here. The rain's starting to get heavier, so I hope these cameras stay in focus. I'm going to spoil it for you. The narrowboat on the left is named Jester's Tier, and I thought it had some kind of deep meaning. But I happened to bump into the owner of the boat and I asked him. He said it's a song by the band called Marillion. So there you go. That's bridge number 46 coming up. And we're lucky that we're only one bridge away from our first stop, because the way it's going with this rain, you won't be able to see anything soon. And looking at them clouds, doesn't look like it's going to let up anytime soon. And some people call me a fair weather boater. Doesn't look like it here though. Well, there's the bridge in front of us, if you can see through the raindrops, and I'm going to try and moor up just past it. So here we are. It's a lovely little mooring, and an added bonus is the rain stopped. I'm going to take a little walk now into the village of Congeston and see what's around. That's the bridge, and this is the start of the village. Looks like they're getting their house rethatched. It's not cheap. found this quite unusual. The farm comes right into the village, and what I thought was a row of cottages is the farmhouse. Congeston derives from the name Snarestone, which in Old English means settlement of a king. And that's the village hall. I bet that's had many functions over the years and can tell a few stories. If I'm looking at a rectory, you know I'm going to be looking at one of my favourite things when I go around these villages, the churches. This church is called St Mary the Virgin, and it dates from the year 1179. This sketch of the church dates to more or less when the USA was formed, from 1793. It's not changed much, has it? And I found this list of all the rectors of the church from day one up until now, which I found really interesting. I don't know if I'm a bit weird, but I really love walking around these old church graveyards and reading all the gravestones. And I find them really peaceful. In loving memory of Win and Alec Ryan, sit a while, remember us and smile. And whilst I was sitting there and smiling in this lovely peaceful spot, I noticed right in front of me was their resting place. So thanks Win and Alec, I really enjoyed that. Sometimes when I walk around these village churches, I don't get a chance to see inside because they're closed. But today we're lucky. And there's some lovely stained glass windows in this one. And they date from the year 1880. Obviously not as old as the church. There's a fair bit of history in this church, involving its patrons and whatever, but I'm not going to go into it too deeply, because after all it is a narrowboat channel, and I don't think it will be everybody's cup of tea. Well, I've been in the marina for a while. I didn't realise how much I missed walking around these places that we go through. Really enjoyed that. The next little village along the canal is Shakistan, and I plan on stopping there and having a look around, but we'll see.
You alright there? Yeah, not bad, mate. There's not much. I seen one go past about an hour ago, that was about it. But yeah, not a lot. Yeah.
Well, we've just been to Congeston. The next village is Shakistan, and the last village on the Ashby is Snarestone. And they call this area the Stones because of that. At Shakistan, they've got a railway station that runs a few steam trains up and down a few stops. But this time of the year they only do it at the weekends.
Morning.
And as today's a Sunday, I was hoping that I might be able to catch them and see some steam trains, or even go on one. down to Tickover now to go past these moored boats. It's a good job I remembered this time. There's a boat that I remember from further back down the canal. Me and the owner used to have a chat now and again.
Going alright? Yeah, not bad. Eventually getting up there, aren't we? Hey? I bet you've been up and down though, haven't you?
No, I ain't been to the top yet.
No?
No, I've been taking the time,
Yeah, that was bad that after before Christmas, wasn't it? Yeah. Like that bit. That's what they're saying. Got no coal, I've got to get some coal. Anyway, look after yourself.
As I was looking back, having a chat with my old mate, I noticed there's a boat coming up close behind me. And to be fair, I take my time mucking about filming stuff and looking for stuff to film. And it's not really fair me slowing people up, so I'm just going to pull over here and let them pass, as I usually do. It's also a bit less embarrassing, because when I get a camera out and start filming stuff, I like zigzag up the canals, because if I take my eyes off of where I'm going for a couple of seconds, I'm all over the shop. I thought this dog was going to attack me at first, but what a lovely dog.
Morning.
How you going? Alright, you alright?
Love your vlogging.
Oh, thank you.
We haven't seen one for a while though.
Yeah, it's not been like the most prolific anyway, so...
Sorry?
Like this one.
We haven't.
No, I've been that prolific.
Keep on the good work. We love it.
I don't think I'll ever get used to people coming up and telling me they like the vlog. Always get a bit embarrassed, to be honest. But thank you to them nice people for saying that, and it does give me a bit of encouragement as well to make some more. Right, onward ever onward, and like I said before, Shakistan is our next planned stop. And looking at the guidebook, we want to moor up after Bridge 52. I've noticed something as we're getting closer to the end of the Ashby. Seems to be quite a lot of twists and turns in the canal, as this canal follows the contours. It must be getting a little bit more hilly up here. Seems like the pubs and the farm shops up here use these bridges for their advertising. They must rely on the narrowboaters for a lot of their trade. Well, that's number 51, so we can't be far away now. That's Shakistan over there on the left, and it actually looks like we're going away from it. but obviously there must be some bends to bring us back round again. Yeah, this bend's taken us round towards the village. There's a small aqueduct at the end of this bend. It takes us over the river Sense. Can't see much of a river. Must be a very, how can I say, small river. If you look through the branches, you can just about make it out. Looks like there's plenty of places to moor along here as we're coming up to Shakistan. But I'll go by the guidebook and have a look at the closer ones that are just past Bridge 52. And that's Bridge 52 coming up on this blind bend. So I hope nothing's coming out the other way. Seems clear. There's private moorings on the left and the CRT moorings are on the right. There seems like some space over there, but I don't fancy mooring there with that bridge so close and moored boats on the other side of the canal. It'll make it a bit tight. So I'll have a look and hopefully there's a gap further up. Not looking too promising. I always do things like that, and there was plenty of places to moor the other side of the bridge, and up here nothing. But it's too late now. Looks like we're not going to stop there at Shakistan. It's not a disaster. I'll be coming back this way soon, and hopefully can stop and have a look round then. This will show you how dopey I can be sometimes.
You didn't stay down there long.
What's that?
You didn't stay down there very long.
I stayed in the marina for a couple of months.
Oh, really? Well, you just pulled in down there.
Oh yeah, not long, a couple of days. Oh, I know what you mean, yeah, I just pulled over to let someone pass. Yeah.
That was the boat, Carpe Diem, that I let past earlier that said they enjoyed the vlog. But because there was only one person on the back and they was coming back in the other direction, in my old age, I'm getting a bit confused and I didn't recognise it first. But there you go. If you're watching, I'm really sorry. Back to the journey. Doesn't look like there's any moorings at all here. So we'll just keep on going and we'll see what happens next. We'll play it by ear, as I seem to do most of my narrowboat journeys. It's very rare when a plan works out. for me anyway. Looks like them buildings over there on the right have seen better days. Wonder what they could have been. That's Gopsall Wood on the left, and there's a lot of good firewood laying about on the floor. And I'm thinking about what my old mate said to me about the cold snap that's coming up. And I've only got half a bag of coal left. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull over, moor up, and get as much firewood as I can. And it looks like I'm coming up to somewhere where I'm going to be able to moor up. So that's lucky. I haven't got any axes and saws. I left all them in the place I used to live before I come out onto the boat. So what I can do, or all that I can do, is sort of collect pieces that are about 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick, that I can snap, and hopefully that'll be good enough. Aitch is moored up there, so it's not much of a walk. I haven't got far to carry it back. Look at all that lovely free firewood just laying about. So I filled up my rucksack and come backwards and forwards about 5 times, and hopefully that'll get me out of trouble. We're off again on the final push to the end of the canal, and I'm a bit more confident that I'm not going to freeze now. Next winter I'm going to make sure that I'm more organised, and I've got some axes and proper saws that I can use to get wood and collect wood as I go along, because the price of coal nowadays has gone through the roof. I don't think I'll be able to afford another winter like this one. So the next village, and the last village along the canal, is Snarestone, and that's more or less the end of the Ashby. And there's also a tunnel at Snarestone. It's not a very long tunnel. I think it's about 250 metres or 250 yards. But yeah, I ain't done a tunnel for a while, so I'll look forward to that. Everything looks a lot nicer when the sun comes out. You've got a little bit of blue sky. And I haven't seen any of them creatures in this site of special scientific interest, but perhaps they'll show their face when it gets a bit warmer in a month or two. I'd love to have the equipment to film the wildlife that's up and down these canals and rivers a bit better, but also on the other side of it, I don't know if I've got the patience to be sitting about waiting for hours. But in a month or two, everything's going to be coming back to life out here. It's one of the best times. You've got all the babies and chicks and everything else that's coming to life, all the plants. It's So I'm going to try and make a bit more effort this time to film some of that stuff. I'm going to give you my honest opinion of what I think of the Ashby. It's a beautiful canal, but I think it would be a fantastic place to come in the summer. I think it's more of a summer canal because it's very rural. There's not much to do and it's hard work getting supplies, but yeah, it's a lovely place, but I think it would be beautiful in the summer, like where we are now. Could you imagine this with everything in bloom? It would be idyllic. This place coming up over here on the left, what a location. It's lovely, but when you get to my age, all you think of is all the hard work it takes to keep it looking lovely like that. It's a bit of a sad way to look at things, really. This bit here looks like it was once a railway bridge. It's probably part of the battlefield line where they run the steam trains up and down. They obviously don't run the trains on this bit, or it would be like a disaster. I think that's Snarestone tunnel that I can see in the distance. So it's time to put the tunnel lights on before I forget. This is a one-way tunnel, but I can't see the other end. I think there must be a bit of a kink in it. Oh, I can just see the other end now, and it looks clear to go through. Very short this one, we're at about the halfway point already. And I do enjoy coming out of these tunnels, because you're never sure of what you're going to see when you come out. It's all going to be different from when you went in. Quite nice. We're getting very close now to the end of the navigable part of the Ashby Canal, and I'm looking forward to having a look round and seeing what's there. The weather's trying to do its best, putting on a show for us for this last little bit. It's a quaint looking old bridge. Very nice. There's a winding hole just up in front of us, but I'm going to moor over here on the left before the winding hole. For those of you that have never watched a Narrowboat channel, a winding hole is somewhere where you can turn the boat. And that's it. Looks like I've made it to the end of the Ashby. I'll tell you something, it was a good job that I went off and collected all that wood, because this is what it looks like the next day. It's freezing outside, but luckily enough I'm all tucked up nice and warm next to my wood burner. Now I've got some lovely and generous people that I'd like to thank. And I'd also like to thank my members on the Buy Me a Coffee app. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate what you do. And for that they get 2 behind the scenes videos a month extra. The Buy Me a Coffee app is in the video description. But like I say, I'm just happy if you watch the videos and you enjoy them. So thank you very much for coming along, and I'll see you next time.